What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action, spawning in the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is Recon, and he is from the tag team. I love it. Tag team, you know? It's like you're playing a game as a kid. No, anyways, in the bottom of the map, another very, very famous player, King Chemo, as a lot of people like to call him. He's also playing as Isis in this one in the red color. And we've got ourselves a very special game here on the map Air. I haven't really covered this map at all, but this one does come specifically from Recon. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in the evening, and to everyone else on YouTube, time to announce the upcoming shenanigans for the next following weeks to come. Our very, well, okay, let's go on some history here. The history is, it was 2000, I can't exactly remember the date right off the top of my head. It was like 2010, 2011-ish. Magyar was sitting on his throne as this player who was undefeated, unbeatable, and Army Corps was snapping at his heels. And he came up with something to push himself over the line. Something to give some spice in to the world of Age of Mythology. And that was the Sunday Classic. That was the Sunday Classic. He played every top player and dominated everyone. Sunday Classic 1, Sunday Classic 2. He played, I think there was like a... I can't even remember, but I do remember it culminated in Army Corps versus Magyar. I don't know if that was the last one. I can't remember exactly, but introducing the Sunday Classic participants for the very first one, as we're going to bring it back in honor of Army Corps. It's going to be Recon versus Kvoth. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to be on Sunday this week due to my own prior commitment, but I wanted to get this thing started. So we're going to be doing it on Saturday at 1400 GMT. We're going to call it the Sunday Classic, the very first one, falling on a different day, but that's fine, in honor of Army Corps and in honor of the spice that goes into it. So don't forget, this Saturday, it's going to be a best of 7. It's going to be Recon versus Kvoth. It's going to have a interesting draft format. I've changed the draft format around just a little bit. And I'm very, very interested in what your guys' opinions are on this format. Basically, the format in the drafts that's been going on since the launch of Retold has effectively meant that we don't get to see players' best god. So this format, what's going to happen is both players are going to be able to select a god first. And it can be exactly the same god as their opponent. We don't know. Well, they don't know. They're just going to pick their best god. And then they ban. And then they draft. So both players are going to be able to get their own main god for this series, or their own strongest god for this series, or the god that they think is the best for this series. So that should add in just a little bit more skill, I would say. And then after that, obviously, we're going to get all the variety that we get from the drafting, and it's going to be a best of 7. And there is a very cheeky little prize pool. So the Sunday Classic is coming back. If there's any 2 players that you guys want to see for the Sunday Classic, and we're going to be doing this every Sunday for the next, I believe, 2 months. So there's going to be a total of 8. Please put players in the comment section below or message on Discord. Players you want to see from the upper echelon. I'm talking top 8 players. This is the bet for the best of the best to keep them sort of entertained during the period, but this sort of like rest period between now and the next S tier tournament. So whoever you guys want to see, let me know. But don't forget, this weekend, Recon Kvoth, Saturday 1400 GMT. Yeah. Anyways, both players are going to be going for a town center. But first and foremost, we can start talking about the game because we've just gotten through. We've just gotten through the shenanigans here. So, yeah. Basically, we've gotten a Anubis, actually, from Recon, which is a little bit surprising. Normally, we would see double Bast here, and we've got a Bast for Chemo, and Chemo is going to be going immediately for the Sacred Cats. And this is one of the big reasons why Bast is normally taken in this matchup, is because you get an extra 10% food income, and you also get an extra 10% wood income, whereas your opponent gets just a little bit more favor, which, while it might seem like a kind of a good idea, the extra resources will amount in potentially extra monuments you can put down, extra units you can get out, and it doesn't. I don't think you get more economy out of the extra favor you gain from Necropolis into a Prosperity, for example. I think your opponent, the Bast player, is going to be in a better spot. But what you do get is Serpents, and take a look at this from Recon. He has just said, "Hello there, my friend Chemo. I would like to see the entirety of the map. I heard if I pay for map packs, it's pretty good. I've played against some Age of Empires 4 players, and they seem to have been able to get some map packs, and I wanted to get them too. But instead of going to the shady websites, he just says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay about 100 gold, run my priest around, and just get the entirety of the map scouted." On the other side here, Chemo has 1 obelisk. 1. Just 1. No more. That's wild. I mean, I know how important scouting is, but the difference here is wild. There are some spearmen out, rushing around the map, trying to just lock down everything here. Recon is technically on the wrong side with these guys. He's going to try and get over onto this position. Some priests to help back up and try and take out the Sphinx here. On the top side, is there anything coming through? Anubite retreating back with the priest, as these units are just going to run straight by the town center. These villages very, very safe on this spot here. The priest getting taken down by the town center. Loses 1 there is kind of a big deal, as the Sphinx going to come over here and try and defend. We see the Plague of Serpents getting dropped, and Chemo is just going to say, no worries. Let me just pull back here. I'll move up onto into my main base. There is still berries here. That's totally fine. But damage done. A heroic age to come through relatively soon for both players, I would assume. Actually, already Chemo is up through Nephthys. So a little bit of an advantage here in terms of tech for Chemo, but Recon has the map control for the time being. Recon has the map control for the time being. Now, we're also going to be seeing Nephthys coming through for Recon as well. As at this point, what Recon has to be careful of is Ancestors Eclipse on economy. Because Chemo, and to be honest, this matchup for a lot, especially on a map like this, it's kind of difficult to get damage done and attack, just because of the big rock in the middle and the fact you have to move around from one side to the other. You're probably going to see most ISIS players going for some sort of a fast mythic here, especially Chemo. Chemo knows how strong this strat is, and he sort of beat it into everyone's head for, I don't know, a month or 2 before he said, I think I understand it now. I'm not going to practice it anymore. But nonetheless, villagers coming over here. We'll snipe 1 villager, loses 1 spearman, almost a second one going down there as the Sphinx comes over. Not running that one across the map to look for that Ancestors Eclipse onto the economy just yet, as now Nephthys is going to be on the way. And Chemo wanders over onto this side. I'm going to look to drop a mining camp here and a Migdol stronghold to secure this position. But he doesn't actually send the units over. He says, I don't want to click this one. If we take a look into the main base here, there's a couple of priests here. A couple of priests over here. Sort of spread out all across the map, but the villages are also spread out all across the map. As Recon looks like he might be going for a 3rd town center. No, just houses going up everywhere. I love these houses because it plays around Meteor. You can see in the main base, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 houses here. All these houses on the backside, really, really smart for Recon. Meanwhile, Chemo on the other side, where is his houses? Chemo's doing the same thing, but it's on the back town center. And if Recon notices this, and he does have a literal obelisk sort of spotting on this position, but if he notices all the houses here, he can just drop that meteor down and kill off every one of those houses as well as the town center. As there's the heroic age in, and immediately we are seeing funeral rites. Chemo decides to build a handful of units out here. As the spearmen charging around the backside, looking to get onto these villages here and cause just a little bits of problems, but Chemo sees this. He's got all the line of sight of these units popping around onto this side. He's going to be running forward here. And with the units being out of position, a couple of priests out of position as well, he might feel like he can find an Ancestor's Eclipse to get some serious damage done onto the economy. He sees the priests over here moving through onto this spot. But already taken just a little bit of damage here. As the villagers over here, however, under a little bit of pressure, the villagers can move up onto the gold mine or over onto this wood line if need be for the time being, but not happening just yet. Ancestor's Eclipse, or Ancestors gets dropped down from Recon. As Ancestor's Eclipse as a defensive resort here, going to come through as well. The Pharaoh over here needs to get involved. Should be a very simple win here for Chemo, but Recon just gets out with the Spearman and the Priest alive. As the Anubite goes down onto this side. Camel Rider going down. Is this an attempt at a town center from Chemo? This guy's crazy. He just lost units here. He does have a Migdol stronghold to help, but I don't think that matters. It doesn't protect the top side here. The Spearmen can just shank this down if need be, or sacrifice themselves to kill off some villagers. Look at that damage. One villager going to be going down. The villager's going to be retreating back now. Priest goes down over here as the Spearman on the top side getting cleaned up. And the game continues along, but Recon here has managed here, after all is said and done, to actually get himself Kvoth. Kvoth is in. There's the Camel Riders getting cleaned up ever so slightly there. And there is a Thoth pre-queued for Chemo, or queued up for Chemo. So he's not too far behind after all is said and done. But Recon has avoided any serious damage from Ancestor's Eclipse, has avoided falling too far behind to economic upgrades thus far. I mean, on the other side, Chemo's got literally all of his upgrades, so his economy is stonking, but because he's in front on villages, it doesn't matter that much here, just due to his raids. There's a Chariot Archers charging through, full barracks army for the time being. I'm a little bit surprised to see Thoth while going for a barracks army here. Good control from Recon to try and dodge everything there, as Ballistics is not... Wait, is Ballistics through? Ballistics is not through for Chemo, so you have to be very, very careful against that before the Ballistics comes in. And Recon is just sitting, waiting on two separate locations. I love this play from Recon. So tough to make this work without losing everything, but that's why Recon's one of the best players in Age of Mythology Retold. He's so quick, so strong at this sort of gameplay. As Recon sneaks through, he sees the opportunity to hit this gold mine. Chemo, quick reaction there. Going to be retreating back, but in retreating, he's going to be losing a whole bunch of these Chariot Archers. Look at this. 19 range Slinger versus 19 range Chariot Archer. All of a sudden, the advantages are just not there as Meteor gets called down from the skies and Chemo says, I don't want to see any more of it. The pressure, too much. There's also this little raid happening on this side as well as this is all going on. an incredible display here from Recon of a completely different approach to this mirror matchup, which, I mean, it looks incredibly strong. Gets out a whole bunch of priests early on, gets the obelisk, goes to 2 town center, but spamming from barracks units and just putting pressure on. I think if Chemo read this a little bit better, probably would have been in a better spot. I don't think he read it very well. Like, for example, if you're playing against early spearmen, going into camel riders doesn't make a huge amount of sense. If you go straight into chariot archers and you can shut down all those raids immediately, your opponent has to back up. And you can even sneak in more pressure, taking out all the obelisks and things like that. But really, really nice play here from Recon. And again, if you guys want to hang out with me on Saturday, 1400 GMT, we got Recon versus Kvoth, 2 of the greats right now. Going to be duking it out for the first Sunday Classic, but on Saturday. Following the next Sunday will be a Sunday Classic. That's going to be part of the meme though, so enjoy. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.